Hi guys, my name is Farhana and today I will be making an oxtail beef curry. So pretty much this dish takes about 5 hours, which is pretty much the longest dish I have ever had to make. Keep watching. Firstly we'll be cutting the garlic. So I have here all of the garlic. I usually cut about 2 whole cloves and I peel them the night before, so it saves a lot of time. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this because I know it does take me a while to cut garlic, about 10 to 15 minutes. So as I'm doing this, I'll play some music for you guys. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and place all the garlic in a bowl. So these are my ingredients that I'll be using. The first one is an oxtail, and the other one is a stew meat. I bought both of these from Walmart. They're very easy to buy. And the next one I use is a Ninja because I want to be able to grind the ginger that I'll be using, and that's the garlic. I used 3 jalapeno peppers and onion. So this is the garlic, as you can see, as I finished cutting it. Now I will go ahead and chop up the peppers. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this for you too as well. You want to make them not too big and not too skinny either because you want to be able to fry them for at least 10 minutes. I am now going to put all the jalapeno peppers into the same container as with the garlic. Make sure you do not leave anything behind. Now this is the garlic and the peppers all put together in one bowl. The next thing I'm going to be cutting is my onion. You want to cut both ends and then you want to peel off the skin. Now I have peeled off the skin. The next thing is you want to cut it in half and make skinny pieces. So you want to be as skinny as you can so it can easily cook. Now I'll be peeling the ginger. I only use a fraction of the ginger because I don't need a lot. The next thing is I usually use is a knife. That's the easiest way for me to get the skin off. And you just want to be able to not have too much skin because it can get in your mouth when you're eating the food. So you want to take as much skin as you can off of the ginger. As you can see, I've peeled off as much skin as I can off of the ginger. So now I will be trying to make thin slices as much as I can. You don't want to make it too thin, but just enough that it will be able to easily blend. It makes the blender a lot faster. Now the next step is to go ahead and blend the ginger I have in here, and that is what it should turn out to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the stove. I usually set it to 6 because that puts it at the average of 5 and 8 because I know I don't want it to burn too quickly. So I usually start at this heat because it gives it enough time to start to simmer. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the oil next. I usually use the mustard oil because it can withstand high degrees of Fahrenheit and it does not damage the properties of the food. And another reason I like mustard oil is because of its health benefits. It does a lot of things for the body. It helps to get rid of any toxins in the body, and it's just one of this oil that I love to use because of how it is a lot more natural than other oils that have been processed several times. Now, as you can see, it is starting to simmer now, and as it's been only 5 minutes, I believe that you should give it at least 5 more minutes, because what this will do is it will let the texture become a little bit more redder, and when that happens, it has more flavor in the onions. So I usually like to keep it till it's a little bit dark red and like bright red, but you are on the right path if you can see the onion starting to get a little bit golden. Now that the onions are a little bit more golden, I'm going to go ahead and add the ginger, because this will allow the texture to fully get into the flavor. And one thing about the ginger is that when you put it in the beginning, it sort of becomes too clumped up and it will burn a lot more. So if you put it near the middle, it gives enough time, just enough to not burn and also get into the flavor. Now I'll be adding the bay leaves, the cinnamon, the cardamom, and the cloves. I usually add about 9 to 10 cloves. It's up to you how much you want it to be. And I'm making a lot of food this time, so I'm going to add at least 10 to 12 cardamom and 4 to 5 bay leaves. I love cinnamon, so that's one of the reasons I'm using a lot of cinnamon. I put about 6 to 7 cinnamon at most, but it's up to you. Totally your choice. See how you like it and experiment with it, because then you'll know what flavor you like the most. And for me, since I am making a big meal today, I'm going to be needing a lot of these ingredients because it helps to enhance the flavor. As you can see, it is getting a little bit more golden red. It is 1:07 p.m. and I'm going to go ahead and add the seasoning. I'm using turmeric powder, 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder, 1 tablespoon of cardamom powder, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, and half a tablespoon of paprika. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. I'm also going to be adding allspice. I also like this one because it does create a lot more concentrated flavor. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. This is meat masala. I'm going to be adding this because since I'm using beef and oxtail, this is very helpful to create that meaty flavor. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of the meat masala and the curry powder. And as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and mix that in very well. It might stick to the leaves, the bay leaves, that's okay. You just want to be able to mix the seasoning as good as you can. It's 1:15 right now, and that means that I have been stirring this for about 6 to 7 minutes. As you can see, the seasoning's pretty well cooked now, and now I can go ahead and add the salt. I usually add the salt in 1 tablespoon because then that allows me to just, let it absorb at the end, so it's not taking in all the flavors from the seasoning. The next thing is add the oxtail. I am going to add this first because oxtail takes a little bit longer to cook and defrost. So I'm going to let that sit in a little bit of water, about 1 cup of water. I'm going to go ahead and add that right now. After adding the 1 cup of water, I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for about 5 to 8 minutes. As you can see, the meat is a little bit more defrosted. It is 1:26 p.m. and it's been about 9 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add the beef now. As you can see, I've added all the beef. Now I'm going to have to let this cook for another 4 hours and 30 minutes. It will be done approximately at 6 p.m. So now I will go ahead and put the top on, and as you can see, it is starting to boil. You just want to stir it every 10 to 15 minutes. You don't have to stir it every time, but if you have it on a temperature of 5 to 6, it does help it to cook at a very slow pace and not overcook. It's 2:20 p.m. right now, and I'm going to go ahead and open that again. It's been about an hour. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir it again. It's 3:14 p.m. right now, and it is still boiling. You want to just let it keep boiling, and as you see the water go down, you can add more water. I'm going to be adding 1 more cup of water right now. And as you can see, it still looks like it can use a little bit more water, so I'll go ahead and add another cup of water. So that's 2 cups of water, and I'll put the top back on. So here I have my potatoes. I have cut up 5 potatoes into large squares. You don't want to cut them too small or too big. I'm going to go ahead and add them, and after I've added them, it's currently 5:36 p.m. That means that my food has technically about 30 minutes to cook, which is why I added at the end, because the potatoes should not be put too early, because then it will become very soft. So as you can see, this is what the oxtail will look like when it is done. It is fully cooked. It has been 5 hours. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my channel. And this is Farhana Stay Seafood. Thank you.